Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dana. I upload a new video at least once a week, but as you may have noticed, it's been a little more frequent than that lately. I'm actually doing my best to upload every single day of December this year. So if you haven't already, now is a great time to subscribe so you can stay on top of all of my new videos. I've been holding on to this tea for a while and I'm so glad I finally am going to try it today. It is called Hazelnut Chocolate from DAVIDSTea. This whole time, like I filmed a tea haul and everything, I've been calling this tea chocolate hazelnut. I don't know why I had it mixed up, but it's hazelnut chocolate and it's a pour tea. But I say before we do anything else, let's get our tea steeping. When I make tea, I always use a metal basket infuser, and I actually sell these on Amazon. I'm hoping to have a tea business of my own one day, and this is my like absolute essential. If you want to get into tea, I feel like this is the first thing you should have. So that's why I sell those as my very first product. So I have that in my clear glass mug, and we are going to get this tea steeping. And just take a scoop with my DAVIDSTea Perfect Spoon. Ooh, this looks good and it smells good. All right, and let's pour in our hot water. And now we will set him to the side, let him steep while we check out the loose tea. All right, so hazelnut chocolate, it is a pour or puer. We were taught to say pour when I worked at DAVIDSTea, but I hear people say it all different ways. But what puer or pour is like a fermented black tea normally. I know there's like more to it than that, but that's just how I think of it, as like a fermented tea. So it has like a deeper, darker sort of flavor. And I noticed DAVIDSTea likes to pair it with chocolate because it can really like hold its own and like stand with that chocolate and not get overpowered. And it's just a nice, like rich, complementary flavor profile. Their hot chocolate was a pour and their s'mores chai is a pour, so I'm not surprised to see that hazelnut chocolate is as well. But the ingredients are pour tea, apple, cocoa peel, artificial chocolate hazelnut flavoring, chocolate curls, brittle pieces, cocoa pieces, hazelnuts, and stevia extract. So that whole stevia debacle continues. I know a lot of people don't like stevia in their tea, and there's a variety of reasons. But I recently saw, I'm not sure if it was on the DAVIDSTea fan page on Facebook or where I saw it, but I saw that somebody messaged DAVIDSTea and said like, why are you putting stevia in all your teas? For me, it like triggers migraines. And DAVIDSTea was like, oh, there's nothing bad about stevia. It comes from a plant. It's a natural sweetener. And I get that. And I personally have no issue with stevia. I like it actually. Like when I sweeten my coffee, I add stevia. But it's like, if it triggers migraines for some people, then like it triggers migraines for some people. I kind of wish they would have, taking that into account more. At the very least, be like, I'm so sorry, like here's some teas without stevia, or we'll be mindful of that going forward. My husband gets migraines and I can't even imagine what they feel like. Thank God I don't get them. If it's an ingredient that is known to trigger that, to trigger migraines, it would kind of be cool if DAVIDSTea could sort of like, you know, start to get away from that instead of adding it to so many of their teas. Personally, I'm okay with it, but it like breaks my heart a little to know that like some of you aren't, and it's in like all of their new teas almost. So hopefully, if they happen to see this, maybe they'll hear me out there, because I don't want any of you guys to be getting headaches. But I do want you to be able to enjoy delicious tea. So let's find a common ground. I'm hoping this tea tastes like Nutella, and it smells like Nutella, but not quite as sweet. It kind of has like a bakery sort of smell. I don't know if you guys have, if this is like an Italian experience, or if everybody, you know, like Italian sprinkle cookies. I could see if I could pop a picture up on screen. But they're these like kind of dry, like shortbready kind of cookies, and they have all different color sprinkles and things. And there's some that have like chocolate and stuff. But I remember when I was little and my mom used to take me into this bakery that had them, and she let me like pick out some cookies. It smelled like this in there. Like I'm picking up the chocolate, but it smells more like a bakery where they make all different things. You know what I mean? Like it's not specific to chocolate that I'm smelling. But let's get a scoop out and see what it looks like in the spoon. There's some good chunks of things. I love that there's big pieces of hazelnut. I love hazelnut. I eat hazelnuts in my oatmeal every day. One weird thing I noticed though, like working at coffee shops and things, whenever I'd make coffees with hazelnut syrup, to me it tasted like Cocoa Puffs. I don't know if Cocoa Puffs have a hazelnut flavor to them, but whenever I have like a latte or something with hazelnut syrup, to me it tastes like Cocoa Puffs. But anyway, here is how it looks all spread out on the plate. You can see that really big hazelnut, and then just a lot of dark ingredients. Like you can see the dark colored tea leaves and a lot of other things that are kind of dark in color. So let's see if we could spot everything on the ingredients list. And this kind of smells like Cocoa Puffs now that I say that. I definitely smell the hazelnut though, and I really like that. So the pour tea is the dark colored tea leaves. Apple is the second ingredient, and I think these chunks are apple. So here's a little piece. Cocoa peel, I think is this. That looks like cocoa peel, right? Artificial chocolate hazelnut flavoring, that we won't be able to spot. Chocolate curls. I see chocolate chips. Like to me, these don't look like curly guys. They just look like little tiny chocolate chips, but chocolate is chocolate, so I'm happy to see that. Brittle pieces. I don't really know which pieces are the brittle pieces. Maybe these? I thought maybe these were pieces of apple, but they actually look a little more like crystallized, like they could be some kind of brittle, which sounds really good. I'm doing like a filming day, and I'm on my second tea review of today, and the first one was a pistachio torte tea. So I'm like thinking of all the things I want to bake. Now I'm like, I'm gonna make brittle. Cocoa pieces. I don't know if that's the chocolate chips or if it's like pieces of actual cocoa, so I'm not really sure there. Hazelnuts, definitely see that. Love those. And then of course the stevia, which I don't think we can actually spot because it's an extract. So I'm gonna go on their website and see what information we can get there. Here's how it looks on the website. The photo looks a little different than it looks in front of me. It's like a little chunkier, like bigger pieces. Ooh, and then look at it. I love when they take pictures, like when they do a picture of a latte instead of a regular tea. I mean, needless to say, these kinds of desserty, chocolatey flavors make amazing lattes. And it says, rich and creamy melted chocolate with hazelnut complemented by an earthy pour base. Drum roll. To say we're excited about this new tea would be an understatement. A labor of love spanning over 6 years, hazelnut chocolate is the result of unflappable resolve to nail down this flavor. Think rich, fudgy cacao meets toasted hazelnut warmth in a smooth and decadent pour. And it tastes even more amazing as a latte. What makes it great? This hazelnut chocolatey tea is the culmination of 6 years of trial and error. We highly recommend you try it as a tea latte. The hazelnut spread we all know and love was inspired by Gianduja, a sweet chocolate hazelnut candy originally from Italy. I don't know that candy, but I wish I did. I remember my mom went to Italy when I was like, I don't know how old I was. I think I was maybe in like junior high, because we ended up going as a family when I was 15. So I was definitely younger than that, but I wasn't like really little either. But my mom went on a trip to Italy and came back with a jar of Nutella, and I had never seen Nutella before or heard of it. And I like genuinely thought my mom like was the one who brought Nutella to America. Like I started to see it pop up everywhere, but so she brought it back from Italy and I was like nervous to try it. Like I'm like, oh, it looks weird. I don't know. Like I had no idea how delicious it was gonna be. I didn't realize that there's chocolate involved. I thought it was like just a hazelnut spread, like a peanut butter, but with a different nut that I never heard of before. And I tried it and I was like, oh my God. And I was in love ever since. And then I started to see Nutella all the time in the next few years. And I was like, wow, my mom brought back Nutella from Italy and now everybody knows it and everybody loves it. So shout out to my mom for making Nutella an American mainstream thing to eat. Even though obviously, you know, it wasn't just her doing, but she's the one who introduced it to me. Even though she doesn't really like it that much, my mom is like, she's introduced me to all the things I love the most in my life, but it's not things that she likes. Like, it's funny, when I was little, my mom used to sing with me and teach me to sing, and I went on to become a singer and perform like big shows and things. And my mom doesn't sing. Like, she only sang like For Baby Me and my brother probably, you know, things like that. And she taught me to do all kinds of arts and crafts and like creative things, but my mom doesn't like to do creative things. So she taught me all of these things and she like introduced me to Nutella, but my mom doesn't really like Nutella, but me and my brother are like fiends for Nutella. Like, she's always introduced me to things that I love, even though it's not things that she loves. And I think that's really cool, because I think about having kids someday and teaching them all the things that I love, but like, what if there's different things that they like that aren't the things I love? So I feel like my mom has served as a really amazing role model there, because she taught me to love all things that like really make me who I am, but aren't necessarily her things. Like, she didn't want to keep me from anything just because it wasn't her interest, which is really cool. So all of that to say, my mom's the one who discovered Nutella. So let's go ahead and take our infuser out. This is not as like dark in color as I expected, especially for a pour and especially for a tea with chocolate. But it smells good. It smells chocolatey. DAVIDStea's hot chocolate was definitely like darker and fudgier looking like in the cup than this. So I'm surprised. It's kind of this light, almost like caramely kind of color. It smells good, but with chocolate teas, there's always the risk of it like not being chocolatey enough. Like, sometimes chocolate teas just kind of taste like weak chocolate or chocolate water. So that's why they're always, in my opinion, a little better as lattes. But I do enjoy a good chocolate tea on its own. Like, I've been drinking the s'mores chai like every day lately, and I've been loving it, but that one is amazing as a latte or as an iced latte. So I'm hoping to have the same kind of relationship with this hazelnut chocolate, where I love it just as is, and then if I'm feeling really festive, I can make it as a fancy latte. So let's go ahead and try it and see if it tastes like Nutella fresh from Italy. It's very sweet. And you know what? I think it does taste like Nutella, actually. It's super good. It is hard to capture that flavor, even using like real Nutella or syrups and things. Like, when I worked at an Italian cafe for a couple months, and we wanted to make like a Nutella mocha with like coffee with espresso, and we just couldn't like capture that flavor. So when they say that it took 6 years to get this right, I'm definitely like, okay, I can see that, because it works as a hazelnut chocolate tea. I feel like the hot chocolate and the s'mores chai have like a darker, richer, earthier vibe from the pour, but this doesn't really have like that dark thing, which is a good thing, I think. Like, I know that earthiness can be off-putting for some people, but I don't get that from this. I really just get a really awesome chocolate tea. It definitely, I mean, I think for sure it would be better as a latte, but I like it. It has almost like a custardy thing, like the thing Nutella has. it's hard to explain, like the creaminess, I guess. Like it has like that creaminess that you would find in Nutella. I like this a lot. I think it could be more chocolatey, but I kind of like that it's not. I like the balance of flavors. It definitely is sweet though, so if you aren't into sweet teas, you might not like this one, especially because it is the stevia factor. So it's kind of interesting like what made them choose stevia over like sugar, because a tea like this already has like chocolate pieces and things like that. If you were gonna throw in some chunks of granulated sugar, like those big like crystal pieces, I don't think anyone would mind, because you know when you hear a tea like hazelnut chocolate that it's going to be decadent, you know? So I am curious about that stevia. But I can tell this tea is gonna be like my friend through the winter. This is excellent. I might even consider repurchasing this. I think I like it better than the s'mores chai because it doesn't have that deep, earthy note to it. I mean, it still has depth, but not like that. Like, you taste the chocolate, you taste the hazelnut. And like, clearly it's a tea, but it's not really like, I don't really get that pour flavor. Like, for all I know, this could be a mild black tea or like a, you know, a lighter black tea. It doesn't have the earthiness, which I like with chocolate. It complements it nicely, like I was saying, but I don't miss it in this either. I feel like it's exactly what it's meant to be after 6 years of hard work. I like it. I think it was worth it. I think the 6 years of hard work was worth it. I think this is a really good tea. It tastes like Nutella. It has the creaminess, it has the hazelnut, it has that like light kind of cocoa thing. I think this is an awesome tea. But then I think about a tea like maple chai that they came out with a couple years ago. That was like another one that took them years and years to come up with. And I was just like, yeah, I can see why. Like, it was so thoughtful and so perfectly balanced and just so unique and delicious. This tea is like, I feel like almost would go over some people's heads because it tastes like Nutella, and to me that's really impressive and really awesome. But I mean, to replicate a flavor is really challenging as well, but I feel like some people might not understand or appreciate the hard work that went into a tea like this. When like that maple chai was just so like, you could tell each ingredient was like thought out. Each ingredient like played a part in the blend, and each ingredient was so important that it was there. But with a tea like this, each ingredient also is really important, but you don't taste each ingredient. You know, you don't taste the apple, you don't taste, you know what I mean? Like, they all come together to make a Nutella tea, which is all we could ever ask for. But I hope people appreciate this and know like how masterful this really is. It's not just some kind of like boring chocolate tea. It's really, really good. It doesn't feel terribly unique, but it kind of is, you know? 6 years is long to work on a tea, but at least they are not Judy the elf who took 1,000 years to get her hot chocolate recipe right. Bonus points if you know what that is in reference to, which Christmas movie, and comment below if you do. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the holiday season. I hope you and your families are staying safe and healthy, and I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.